Every day, there's a battle for your mind raging. Information coming from every angle with the will to deceive. Fear not. You found the place for truth. The voice of a generation that still has the will to believe in the greatest country in the history of the world. This is the Charlie Kirk Show. Buckle up. Here we go.
Happy Friday. I'm Blake. Andrew is out today, so I'm piloting this show. I ask everyone watching to be patient with me, but I think we're going to have a very good show today. Looking ahead, we're going to have we have Mikey with me here in studio already. Later on, I think we're going to have Danny as well. We're going to be talking to some of our best Gen Z Turning Point USA chapter heads about the Charlie revival, about what young people want in politics. And then in the second half of the show, we're going to have the AMA with subscribers. That is always a ton of fun. We love the questions that you guys bring us. We love answering them. We love the dialogue it provokes. And that really guides the show a lot as we go forward. Yeah. So that's going to be a great hour. But our first order of business today is we're going to tease the halftime show.
We got to tease it.
All-American halftime show. We announced that yesterday morning. And it's going to be held during a popular sporting event that shall remain unnamed early in February. And we're already a ton of interest from different, you're more involved in the discussions of this than I am.
Yeah. Faith, family, freedom, the alternative to that big sporting event halftime show. And it's something that your family can tune into as opposed to what the other sporting event has to offer.
The bunny that is very mellow.
The bunny, the booty cheeks, the debauchery. We don't need that.
Exactly. Exactly. So obviously, are we giving out tickets or what's the deal with that?
Yeah, there's signups right now. So you
excellent.
You can go to the website and go there right now. There's an interest form. You can say what genre you would like to hear right now. I think worship is winning. I think a lot of people want to hear.
We need some rock too.
No, actually, that's second place.
Okay, that's good.
Rock.
That's good.
Hip hop's in last place. So if you want hip hop, go.
Alrighty. All right, but now on to the big story of today. This is definitely what Charlie would want to talk about. Yeah. Huge deal. So late last night, early today local time, but late last night for us, the Israeli cabinet gave approval to a ceasefire deal for the Israel-Gaza war that has been raging these past almost exactly 2 years. They gave their approval to a ceasefire deal negotiated by the Trump administration, pushed by President Trump himself. The ceasefire took effect a few hours ago. Already, Israeli troops have started pulling back to a negotiated ceasefire line. And there's already footage out there of thousands of Gazans streaming back into, they're still bombed out cities, but they are returning to their homes. They are hopeful that this will bring peace. The ceasefire here, it starts a 72-hour countdown. So by this time next Monday, Hamas will be expected to have released all of the remaining hostages that they possess. There are, I believe, 48 hostages still unaccounted for. Some of those are believed to be dead, unfortunately, but Israel believes that about 20 of them are still alive. They've been held for 2 years at this point. And President Trump has said he hopes to travel to Israel this weekend to address the Knesset and to be personally present when the hostages are turned over. The flip side of it, of course, is he also believes his personal presence will help make sure that things hold together and it doesn't break down. And we want to be clear, this is a win for President Trump. I'm going to quote Politico, no fans of President Trump by any stretch. Quote, ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas were stalling this week until U.S. emissaries Steve Wykoff and Jared Kushner swept in to dictate key compromises, according to 3 people familiar with the diplomatic effort and an administration official. In the first few days, it was going very slow, said one of the people familiar with the talks, which started Monday. There was no willingness to budge on key issues. That's what the situation was. Total paralysis, nobody willing to make the key concessions. And it was President Trump who was able to exercise leverage on both sides, because we should be clear, there was hesitancy for a peace deal on both sides of this conflict. Now, obviously, Hamas deserves far more blame for this war and for the war's continuation, but there's a lot of skepticism of trying to make any sort of deal with them, and Trump had to win over Israel on that end. And we have to recognize a lot of Trump's personal brand plays a role in this. When you read accounts of this, they're saying Hamas is willing to take what for them is the risk of releasing all the hostages because they trust President Trump to make sure that Israel doesn't, then decide they'll break the ceasefire afterwards. And on the flip side, Israel knows that Trump really hates being lied to or bamboozled, and that if Hamas makes him angry, he might sign off on, another bomb blowing up in some Hamas meeting room somewhere. So he really has built that peace through strength reputation that does open the way to a bigger peace. And I want to flag another thing because it is very funny. Let's throw up pick 390 from our B-roll. So this was a headline that ran in 2020 where it says, Jared Kushner claims he can solve the Palestinian conflict because he has read 20 books on it. And they all thought this was just an obvious dunk. Oh, Jared Kushner thinks he can negotiate a peace deal. Does he have an MA in international relations, Mikey? Does he have a PhD? Has he even ever worked for one of the key NGOs? And that's the idea they had. And this has been more than any other conflict in the world, this has been managed for decades by NGOs and peace experts and all of that. And they've never really gotten anywhere. It's the most unsolvable problem in the world. And it turns out what you needed was someone experienced in New York real estate deals.
Yep.
And suddenly things got very different. Now, we want to be clear. We aren't out of the woods. We're celebrating. We are happy. But there was a ceasefire 9 months ago.
Yeah.
It collapsed. This ceasefire might also collapse. They still have to figure out disarming Hamas. They have to figure out how to govern Gaza in a way that we won't have another 10-7 a year from now, or 6 months from now, or 10 years from now. It is going to be hard. And we don't want to ignore another thing that is important, and we've already seen some emails about it. Part of this deal does involve up to 200 U.S. troops going to Israel to oversee and execute the ceasefire and to distribute humanitarian aid. Now, the administration says none of these troops are going to be in Gaza. They're not walking the streets with machine guns. That is not what is going on. This is a sort of overseeing, oversight role.
Yeah.
And we should be clear. There is a red line here. We've said, Charlie said, this is not our war. We do not need another Middle Eastern quagmire. We can't get sucked into any conflict there. If this goes south, we don't send 10,000 troops to retrieve it. We get out. That is our role here. But, we'll admit this makes us a little worried, but Trump has earned our trust on some of these things.
Yes.
He's twice threaded the needle with Iran, made us sweat a little bit, as you remember, but he threaded that needle and he got us out in the direction of peace. And that's the last thing I want to talk about here, that, the Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers. Jesus said that in the Beatitudes. It doesn't say blessed are the NGOs. It doesn't say blessed are the polite. It doesn't say blessed are the eggheads who have PhDs in international relations. It says blessed are the peacemakers. And what we have seen over and over this year is that Donald Trump is a peacemaker.
Yes.
The Nobel Peace Prize was actually announced this morning. It was planned in advance. Apparently it was chosen recently, but not last night, literally. The winner was not Trump. He very much wants it.
Unfortunately.
But the winner was María Corina Machado. She's a Venezuelan opposition leader, and we have no beef with her. In fact, just a few minutes ago, this flashed on Politico also. Venezuelan opposition leader dedicates Nobel Prize to Trump for his decisive support.
So he still basically got it.
Yeah, he basically sort of got it, and she's clearly very smart. She definitely knows how to play her own diplomatic game. So we have no beef with her. But we are going to say it is clear who should be winning this award this year. If you read the will of Alfred Nobel, the dynamite guy who created the Nobel Peace Prize, the criteria for the Nobel Peace Prize is, quote, the person who shall have done the most or the best work for fraternity between nations, for the abolition of standing armies, and for the reduction and promotion of peace, the holding and promotion of peace congresses. Who has done the best work this year for fraternity among nations? Donald Trump. He de-escalated the war in Iran. He's got this ceasefire. He had the ceasefire in Cambodia. He had the thing in Rwanda. He was involved in India and Pakistan. A year from now, if this ceasefire has held up, if Saudi Arabia has joined the Abraham Accords, or really just if this ceasefire holds up a year from now, they have no excuse whatsoever to not give Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, we have a live ad read. When you're buried in credit card debt and loan debt, it's human nature to put it off and say, I'll deal with it later. If that's you, here's a hidden fact the debt strategy experts at Done With Debt shared with me. They discovered a little-known strategy that works in your favor. to dramatically reduce or even erase your debt altogether. They aggressively engage everyone who owes money this fall, and here's why. They know which lenders and credit card companies are doing year-end accounting and need to cut deals. They even know which ones have year-end audits and need to get your debt off their books. That means you need to get started with Done with Debt now, this fall. Done with Debt accomplishes this without bankruptcy or new loans. In fact, most clients end up with more money in their pocket the first month. Get started now while you still have time. Go to donewithdebt.com. Talk with one of their specialists for free. Visit donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. Thank you, guys.
We have more. We have the Virginia race coming up next.
That's right.